So basically we'll talk about one of the entrance tests which basically opens lot many directions for you. आप सब साइंसेस के स्टूडेंट्स हो, आप में से कुछ बीएससी के हैं, कुछ एमएससी के हैं, आप में से सबने सुना होगा यूजीसी नेट के बारे में। होता क्या है ये जो यूजीसी, जैसे अगर आपको हमें हमें सबको पता है अगर हमें स्कूल में टीचिंग करनी है तो मुझे बीएड is something which is compulsory. आज की डेट में there is one entrance exam that is TET that is very much compulsory. Similarly, अगर आपको कॉलेजेस में, यूनिवर्सिटीज में, चाहे वो सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी है, चाहे वो आपकी स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी है, चाहे वो आपकी कोई डीम्ड यूनिवर्सिटी है, चाहे वो कोई प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी है, अगर आपको उसमें एक रेगुलर अपॉइंटमेंट लेनी है, then there is one test called CSIR UGC NET exam that is compulsory to crack. अगर आप उसको क्लियर करते हो then only you are eligible for regular position. अब now what do you mean by regular position? Regular position means you will be getting all the benefits, all the incentives, whatever are directed by Indian government in the pay scale, right? Then you're eligible for all those benefits, all those promotions. So this is one benefit of the CSIR UGC NET exam. The another benefit of this exam is that this exam is an entry gate for PhDs, right? For research in almost all the universities in India, whether they are private, whether they are deemed university, whether they are state university, or in IITs. So before that, I would like to tell all of you that IITs also offer MSc PhD programs. So PhD is the key frame here. I mean your ISIs, IITs, all the universities, they have PhD program in sciences. And अगर आपको उस PhD program में admission लेना है, then you should be qualifying your CSIR UGC NET exam. So to begin with, so this is the Council of Scientific and Indian Research, that is CSIR. This is Indian government R&D organization. तो ये basically हर साल, basically साल में 2 बार exam conduct करती है, that is CSIR UGC NET exam. So the main aim of this exam is the admission to the, as I already directed, admission to the PhD programs, and secondly, you can enter as an assistant professor in any college or university or institute of repute. So basically, अगर आप देखो PhD में जब आप admission लेते हो बेटा, you are no more a student. If you can see the slide, the clip which I have put, moment आपका PhD में admission हो जाता है, आज की डेट में जो अभी का stipend है, जो likely जब तक आप लोग 2 साल बाद join करोगे BSc वाले और MSc वाले, it is likely to be revised because आज की डेट में things are going on, right? Activities are going on to increase this stipend. But अगर मैं आज की डेट में भी बात करूं, जो JRF, that is Junior Research Fellow, जब आप किसी भी PhD program में join करते हो, so for first 2 years, your designation is no more a student, you are a research fellow. So that is Junior Research Fellow. And after 2 years, you will be Senior Research Fellow. Like for Junior Research Fellow, you will be getting 31,000 per month. So this Indian government will be paying you for your PhD. This is only the stipend which I am talking. उसके अलावा आपको HRA मिलता है, आपको per year contingency grant मिलती है. Like if you see here, it is 20,000. So 20,000 is basically for your books and all the things. उसके अलावा आप जिस इंस्टीट्यूट में ज्वाइन करते हो, कंप्यूटर आपको इंस्टीट्यूट देता है, right? So I mean the stationery and all I'm not counting. So all those expenses are paid by the institute. So 31,000 is a very good salary. And बेटा वो टाइम गए जब हम बोलते थे PhD 5 साल में होती है, PhD 7 years में होती है. I did my PhD in 4 years, right? At this stage, right? I got my degree last year, right? And many, I mean, young people like you who can devote your full time in your PhDs can basically complete this in 3.5 years. So पहले तो आज की डेट में अपने दिमाग से एक नोशन हटा दो. हमारे पेरेंट्स के दिमाग में ये है कि PhD स्टडी. No, you are getting paid. It is a job. राइट, यू आर डूइंग रिसर्च, यू आर एक्चुअली जो अभी तक आपने अपने एमएससी में सीखा है, आप उसको इम्प्लाई करोगे, आप उसको यूज करोगे, एंड यू आर वर्किंग इन एन एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट. 90% of these institutes does not have, obviously you have to be serious, you have to work seriously, but you are not time bound. So ये वो पीरियड है जिसमें स्टूडेंट लाइफ भी है, आप इंजॉय भी करते हो, प्लस आपके कैंटीन के खर्चे और बाकी बाकी जो आपके और चीजें हैं उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट आपको पे करती है. एंड देन अगर आप आईआईटीज वगैरह में पीएचडी ज्वाइन करते हो, अराउंड 1 लाख to 2 lakh आपको एक्सपेंस मिलता है फॉर फॉरेन ट्रेवल फॉर अ कॉन्फ्रेंस, प्रोवाइडेड द कॉन्फ्रेंस इज जेन्युइन एंड योर वर्क इज यू नो इट विल एड टू योर स्किल. तो वो आपको पे करते हैं अराउंड 1 lakh टू गो फॉर टू फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटीज एंड प्रेजेंट योर वर्क. सो पीएचडी का बेनिफिट मंथली यू आर गेटिंग, so it's a 3-year thing and you are getting paid for your foreign travels, right? And once you have done 2 years, so after that you will be getting 35,000. So you will see why it is written for 2 years, for next 3 years, to total 5 years. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So this is like 5 years is the upper bracket. अगर आप 5 years में अपनी PhD complete नहीं करते हो, then you have to take permissions from CSIR. So it is a kind of thing that you are not able to do your work properly. So this is upper bracket for those who are not doing it seriously. So minimal it's 3 years. So generally 3-3.5 साल में लोग PhD करके निकल जाते हैं. So if you see it's maximum period 5 years. So 5 साल के बाद गवर्नमेंट भी बोलती है कि नहीं अभी it's not possible for us. Obviously there are exceptional candidate things. Like for girls, they get married, some of them might have issues, so all these things are considered. That is the reason it is 5 years. So it is a very good option for girls. और moreover अभी जो 21 में एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है, अभी जब तक ये इम्प्लीमेंट होगी, for assistant professor PhD is compulsory, right? It is compulsory to be as a doctorate with your doctorate degree to become assistant professor in a college or university. The clear guidelines will come soon. So not only PhD is important from career point of view, but otherwise you see that in the kind of times to come, especially for science students, it is something which is going to be a necessity, right? So what my suggestion is that agar aap mein se kisi ke mind mein hai, so this lecture is primarily for those students who want to go for, hota kya hai ki abhi aap apni MSc mein jo log hain, ये why BSc students, because moment आप में से 80% students MSc join करोगे. So moment you will join your MSc, you should know what options, what exams you have to crack off. Along with CSIR, this exam, UGC NET exam, there is one more exam, that is GATE exam. It's GATE. Again, this GATE is especially mathematics में, computers में, physics में, GATE is being conducted, right? For other streams, you can just go to the website of, you can just write GATE on Google. I'll show you in the end also. You will go to the GATE website. Now, what is the benefit of this exam? This exam is much easier than UGC NET. Second thing is, this exams does the same thing. This exams makes you eligible for PhD admission in IITs primarily, NITs, IITs, इनमें सब में एडमिशन होती है थ्रू गेट. अगर आपका गेट क्वालिफाइड है तो भी आपको पीएचडी मिल जाती है, सेम स्टाइपेंड आपको मिलता है. सो व्हाट स्टूडेंट्स डू, कई बार अगर सपोज गॉड फॉरबिड किसी का यूजीसी क्लियर नहीं हुआ, गेट और यूजीसी के एग्जाम का सिलेबस ऑलमोस्ट सेम है. गेट का सिलेबस आई मीन पेपर पैटर्न इजी रहता है, गेट क्रैक करना इजी होता है. बच्चे क्या करते हैं, गेट क्रैक करते हैं, एनआईटी आईआईटी वगैरह में एडमिशन ले लेते हैं पीएचडी के लिए. PhD के साथ साथ they again keep on going there, I mean for their UGC exam, right? So उससे उनको बेनिफिट क्या मिलता है कि PhD साथ साथ चल रही है, टाइम वेस्ट नहीं हुआ, UGC मीन टाइम क्लियर हो जाती है. UGC एग्जाम में दो मेन I mean आपकी कैटेगरीज रहती है. वन इज LS मीन्स लेक्चरशिप, एंड सेकेंड इज GRF, दैट इज जूनियर रिसर्च फेलो. तो इन्हीं में से ही जो टॉप रैंकर्स होते हैं, सपोज आपने एग्जाम दिया, आपकी रैंकिंग बनी, उस रैंकिंग में से जो टॉप स्कोरर्स होंगे, आई मीन नॉट आई एम सेइंग टॉप 50, सो टॉप 200 300 डिपेंडिंग अपॉन इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के पास कितनी फेलोशिप्स है, राइट? सो अभी जैसे आई विल शो यू, अभी इस बार का गेट आई मीन नेट एग्जाम अभी अनाउंस नहीं हुआ है, रीजन इज कोविड, राइट? इतना बड़ा एग्जाम कंडक्ट करना it's not easy, but online mode it will be conducted soon. So depending upon the situation, depending upon the how many fellowships are there, So this exam is announced by the government, and then जो top rankers हैं, they are offered GRF plus LS, and उसके बाद वाले कुछ कट तक you will be eligible for LS, and उसके बाद there are certain cut off where student is not able to qualify. So primarily दो list बनती है, one is GRF plus LF. तो obviously जिनका GRF clear हो गया, they are eligible for the fellowships for PhD. So fellowship से यहाँ मतलब है this amount, so they can apply in the university. So वहाँ पे interview होती है, most of जब आपका UGC NET qualified है, you will be, most of the institutes they conduct interviews directly, written exam नहीं होता है. So they will see your UGC NET scorecard, they will be interview, and if things go fine, you will be selected. And then the second category will be eligible for LS only, not the fellowship, but they can apply in the colleges for lecturership. I mean, they can enter as an assistant professor. Then there are other methods by which they can do their PhDs. So basically, this exam is important for the entry in the as an assistant professor in colleges or universities. तो अगर ये एग्जाम क्लियर नहीं होगा तो आपको रेगुलर पोजीशन में you will not be able to get assistant professor position in any institute of repute, right? So now the problem is कि जब तक हम MSc first year में होते हैं, MSc in itself is a big thing. So MSc first, it's only 4 semester course. तो कई बच्चों को ये भी नहीं पता होता कि MSc second semester में you are eligible to write your NET exam. तो अगर आप देखो BSc फाइनल सेमेस्टर में आप हो गए हो, MSc सेमेस्टर 1A के बीच में है, सेमेस्टर 2 में you are already eligible to write your NET exam. So ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ MSc फाइनल वाले ही बच्चे एग्जाम दे सकते हैं, वो लोग जो MSc फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर आई मीन फर्स्ट ईयर में हैं, राइट? सो व्हाई आई एम सेइंग फर्स्ट सेकंड सेमेस्टर, बिकॉज ये एग्जाम जनरली दिसंबर में होता है, आई मीन जून में होता है, फिर दिसंबर में होता है. तो जून वाली जो एग्जाम है उसमें MSc फर्स्ट ईयर वाले स्टूडेंट एलिजिबल हो जाते हैं. So they can give their exam. They have to give a small undertaking कि अगर उनका MSc क्लियर नहीं होती है तो उनकी ये जो फेलोशिप है ये वैलिड नहीं रहेगी, right? So that is not the case for you people. So second thing is कि ये जो ऐसा नहीं है कि सपोज मैंने आज एग्जाम दिया, ये एग्जाम का जो JRF की फेलोशिप है ये 2 साल के लिए वैलिड है. So basically 2 साल के लिए आप इंडिया के किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूट में अप्लाई कर सकते हो for your with only your this result, present result. Suppose मैंने जून में ये एग्जाम दिया 21 में, I got GRF, तो मैं किसी रीजन के कारण अभी एडमिशन नहीं ले सकती, मुझे साल 6 महीने I want to do some other course, so my GRF is valid for 2 years. So within 2 years I can apply somewhere, and if I get the PhD, then I will get the fellowship from the Indian government. So इसमें किसी को PhD कराने में भी आपको मुश्किल नहीं है, because आपकी जो सारी आपकी जो फेलोशिप आनी है वो इंडियन गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से आनी है. And for lecturership there is no restriction. अगर एक बार आपका LS clear हो गया, so throughout life this LS means lecturership, this is result is valid. You need not give that exam again. But suppose I want you after 2 years, maybe some reason you were not able to join, then you decide that I want to do your PhD, then in case 2 years have crossed, then you have to give your exam again for admission in the PhD program. Now since we have mix of students here, so I'll be talking in the general level. So basically this is the pattern of your UGC exam. This is an online exam, multiple choice questions, right? So basically there are 120 questions of 200 marks. So broadly the paper is divided into 3 sections: paper A, part B and part C. So part A is common for all these students, right? Whether they are from life sciences, whether they are from physics, whether they are from chemistry, whether they are from mathematics. So part A is common. It includes your general aptitude, right? Maybe your reasoning, quality, right? All those data analysis, ये जो banking वाला system में आता है. So this kind of general, I mean वो science जो आप class 12 तक पढ़ते हो, तो अगर आपको याद हो 10th तक everybody studied this common thing. So यहाँ पे वो वाला portion आता है. So that is the general aptitude. Maybe it can be related to environment, it can be related to any data analysis, basic maths, basics physics and all that. And part B and part C is the subject specific. So part B and part C will depend upon which, if you're giving chemistry paper, it will comprise portions of part B and part C. And similarly, you will have for mathematics and for physics, right? And for life sciences, right? And each section has different number of questions, right? And you have to attempt certain minimum questions to be qualified. This I'll be showing in the another slide. Now there is one more problem. जब generally MSc वाले बच्चों को हम बोलते हैं नेट का एग्जाम निकल गया है, तो वो क्या करते हैं, वो UGC नेट डाल के गूगल पे सर्च करते हैं, उनको एग्जाम नहीं मिलता, they are not able to see. So this is the website. So I'll show you this website also in the end. ये जो आपको नेट UGC नेट, because UGC नेट आर्ट्स के लिए भी होता है, it is for humanities also, it is for commerce also. So for sciences it is on this address, csirhdg.res.in. So for sciences this test is conducted by CSIR. So you will get all the details of this test on this website, results and everything. So now here so basically this exam is conducted for 5 subjects: chemistry, earth science, life sciences, zoology and everything, then mathematics, physics. There is negative marking. So here if you see part A, part B, part C. So part A is general. So there are 20 questions and you have to attempt 15 questions. So these 15 questions you have to attempt. अगर आप 13 questions attempt करते हो या 12 questions attempt करते हो, then you are not qualified for the test, right? Each question carry 2 marks. So there is negative marking of 0.5. Right. Similarly, for part B, this is 40, and questions you have to attempt is 35, and for part C, it is 60 and 25. So this is total 120. So for life sciences, you have, so chemistry, total 75 questions have to be attempted. And if you see part C, negative marking increases, right? So here you have to be very careful while attempting the questions. Then second, now this is what I have for the other streams. So here if you see for life sciences, right, we have this 15. So part A is common, so 20, all the streams, so it's 15. Then for part B it's 50, 35, and part C it's 75, 25. So here this is for the mathematics. So if you see for all, there is some negative marking, and this negative marking increases. If you see in physics, so part C, negative marking is the maximum, right? So keeping this negative marking in view, right, there are few things which I want to discuss with you people. First of all, in these breaks, there is, in these part A, part B, part C, there is no break. You have to attempt the paper in one go. And second thing is, जैसे अगर आपने देखा हो 20 क्वेश्चंस में से आपने 15 क्वेश्चंस करे हैं, तो बेटा अगर आपने फर्स्ट 15 क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट कर दिए और उसके बाद आपने सपोज कोई 2 क्वेश्चंस और अटेम्प्ट कर दिए, देन कंप्यूटर विल ओनली चेक फर्स्ट 15 क्वेश्चंस. सो अगर आपने 15 से ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस किए हैं तो प्लीज फर्स्ट 15 क्वेश्चंस ही इवैल्यूएट होते हैं आपके नेट में. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट अगर जैसे आपने देखा हो कुछ बाकी पार्ट्स में कम क्वेश्चंस हैं तो जनरली हम क्या होता है कि हम सारे मार्क कर देते हैं. हम जो ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई दिखेगा कि इसका बी आंसर सही है, वहां पे आपका फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन रॉन्ग था तो चलो मैं 40th क्वेश्चन कंसीडर कर लेती हूँ. नो, योर फर्स्ट 15 और फर्स्ट 20 और फर्स्ट 25 क्वेश्चंस विल बी इवैल्यूएटेड. So this I have already discussed. Part A, it includes your graphical, logical, quantitative, series, puzzles, all the general aptitude. Part B, it consists of your topic wise, right, bit easy portion. And part C is more of scientific, right? When I'm saying more of scientific, like more of core concepts. So part B is again easy to score off in, and part C is something again, right, where you will find the typical portion of your subject, right? So this is very important that this is high time, especially for MSc, even for your BSc. जो आपका ज्यादा नेट का सिलेबस होता है वो आप लोग BSc में पढ़ चुके होते हो. So जैसे अब BSc फाइनल वाले आपका BSc हो जाए, अभी एग्जाम्स हो जाएंगे, आपके पास 2 months हैं. So it is good time for you people to start for your preparation, right? What you people can do, you can download the syllabus from the site, then you make the plan. For each topic you give, when I'm saying topic means for each unit, so say algebra is there, I mean I'm mathematics, so I'm talking about that. So algebra is there. अगर आपके पास numerical है, आपने सोचा मुझे numerical करना है, तो give numerical 1 week, not more than that. So make a plan, right? And then you buy some book. Arihant ki book is there, AP publishers ki books, lot many books are there in the college library also, lot many books are available in the market also. They are not difficult. So I mean they're not costly. So 250 300 में एक अच्छी बुक मिल जाती है. So you just buy a good book. उस book का फायदा क्या होता है? Always buy a new book, right? आई नो इट्स आई मीन हम जनरली बोलते हैं कि ओल्ड बुक से चल जाएगा, बट न्यू बुक में बेटा लेटेस्ट क्वेश्चंस जो प्रीवियस पेपर में आए हुए हैं that will be there, patterns, new latest patterns will be there, so you will be able to understand what you need to cover, what study material you require, so all those things will be, so ये जो जनरली बुक्स होती हैं इसमें पहले हर चैप्टर पे रिवीजन भी होती है, so there are some quick notes and then there are questions from the previous year and some extra questions. So what you can do is आपके पास सिलेबस है, पहले सबसे पहले अपना शेड्यूल बनाओ कि आपने इतने टाइम में इस टॉपिक को खत्म करना है। मूवमेंट आपने उस टॉपिक को खत्म कर दिया, आपने शेड्यूल बना लिया, आपने जो बुक्स अपनी बीएससी में फॉलो करी थी उन्हीं बुक्स के हेल्प से आप अपने सिलेबस को रिवाइज करो। कोई न्यू बुक लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, जो आपके नोट्स बने हैं उससे रिवाइज करो, जो टॉपिक्स नेट में दिए हुए हैं सिलेबस में वो टॉपिक रिवाइज करो, फिर ये बुक उठाओ, उस बुक में जो उसने क्विक नोट्स दिए हैं उनको रिवाइज कर लो, आपको पता लग जाएगा कि अब आपकी प्रिपरेशन हो गई है। कोई टॉपिक ऐसा है जो उसने दिया आपने नहीं पढ़ा, देन यू गो बैक टू योर नोट्स अगेन, रिवाइज देम, कम बैक and then start solving the questions, right? So what is important is that you solve previous year questions, because previous year questions jab aap solve karoge uski help se aapko you will be able to see what is the exam pattern. So this is what I was talking of. So you should, this is very important, you make a daily schedule and you make your previous year paper. Uske baad online mock test, lot many are available on all the subjects. You should take online mock test once you are done. उससे आपको पता लग जाता है आप कहाँ stand कर रहे हो, आपकी स्पीड कितनी है, आपकी एक्यूरेसी कितनी है, right? So 4 months, 3 to 4 months, अगर आप around 10 hours लगाते हो, right? You know the importance of this test now. It is not at all difficult to crack NET exam. हम लोगों ने कोचिंग नहीं ली थी हमारे टाइम पे, आज भी देखो कोई एक दो इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं जो आपको कोचिंग देते हैं। आई मीन यू आर, अगर आप अच्छी तरह कर रहे हो, नो कोचिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर योर नेट एग्जाम। Just make a schedule, start at the right stage. The right stage is now. Once your final exams are done, sit back. Since there is negative marking, you need to focus on the what you call it as quality, not the quantity, right? So I just want to show you one more thing. So this is the site which I was talking. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the CSIR site which I was talking. So you can just simply put NET exam here. So you see, so admit cards, so abhi 2019 se we are under pandemic, so things have not improved. So if you see, there are, these are the previous, so mark statement December 2008, right? So you see, this is 2020, it's there, right? So all the information you will get on this site. And if you see, so people are there to think about. So if you see the very important one, you see announcements, extension of validity period of GRF. So you see, since उन्होंने वो नहीं किया है, एग्जाम नहीं हुआ है, तो ये ड्यू टू पेंडेमिक लोग ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाए, इंस्टीट्यूट क्लोज थे, तो अभी जो GRF की फेलोशिप है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि उसकी वैलिडिटी 2 साल की है, तो वो गवर्नमेंट ने बढ़ा दी है, that has been increased, right? So this way, this exam is very important, right? All your teachers which are there in the department, they all have cracked the exam, so you can anyway take their help, right? But the thing is कि timely planning is must for this exam. दूसरा, अभी तक जितना आपके टीचर्स ने आपसे डिस्कस किया है फॉर द प्लेसमेंट्स, यू हैव गॉन थ्रू मेनी ऑफ द साइट्स. यस, सीवी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? अब जहां पे भी आप जॉब के लिए अप्लाई करते हो, आपका सीवी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर आपका सीवी अच्छा नहीं होगा देखने में, तो यू विल, यू नो, द पीपल विल नॉट गेट अट्रैक्टेड, राइट? सो a right CV, और आज की डेट में lot many softwares are available to create a CV. But otherwise, if you are not convergent with any of the software, you can simply make your CV on the document, right? This Word document. So I'll just share one CV sample with you. So your CV should give a precise information. जनरली हम लोग क्या करते हैं, जब हम CV बनाते हैं, हम स्टार्टिंग में लिख देते हैं नेम, then you write your father's name, your mother's name, your home address. No, the employer is not interested in your father's name. He is interested in you, right? So your CV should be catchy enough, right? The font, everything should be so catchy कि देखने से he should know कि there is some volume. So if you see, Here, like, you know, here I have just in short, in very small font, I have given my address and I have given my mobile number, this email ID. Then if you see, there are my education qualifications. So you should bold these highlights. These all your education. So you're not your 8th, 9th, no, 10th plus 2, your graduation. Then if you see, if there are certain important, so you see, this is my UGC CSR. So in sciences, this is very crucial. Then my PhD. So all these things should be in bold. Like your BSc, if you are have distinction, then you should mention that I got distinction in my BSc, right? So all these things should be clearly mentioned. Then you should have such certain computer skills at your level. आपको PowerPoint आता है, आपको Microsoft आता है, आपको C programming सिखाई जाती है. So you should mention there your C programming, right? So these should be the highlights: your education, your computer skills. Obviously, in your case, there will be no teaching experience. Then you had certain professional awards and honors. आपको कोई एनसीसी में अवार्ड मिला, आपको उसके बाद आपको अवार्ड मिला, आपके कॉलेज में आप गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट हो, आप टॉपर हो, then you should have your awards, and that awards words should be highlighted so that CV पे नजर पड़ते ही person come across that the person which I'm talking to is having certain key interest, right? So all those, so especially like if I was awarded with some gold medal, with scholarship, so I've all highlighted that in black color, because the interviewer does not have a time, और जो person आपका CV read कर रहा है उसके पास time नहीं है पूरा CV read करने के लिए. So all your crucials should be, so again, आप जैसे आजकल अब यहाँ पे we have seed money projects, we have other, आप conference में आप जाते हो, publish करते हो paper, so those should be mentioned, publications, right? जैसे these are my in general, then you can have your publications in conferences, right? Then you should mention all those things. कोई आपने workshop, आप college में इतने seminar attend करते हो, workshop attend करते हो, you should mention that I attended this seminar, I attended this workshop. This, so if you see attended, this is the workshop name, held at, kahan pe hui aur kab hui. So this gives the key person in ki ha, okay, the person knows things, the person know what is workshop, the person know what is seminar. Then if you had certain आप CR हो class के, आप what you call, आप you have certain positions, so then in the end you can mention the positions held. आप अपने college में आप member हो council committee के, you can mention in there. And in the end you can give personal details. Then if you want to, you can give father name, occupation, mother name, so that column you can make in the end. जनरली क्या होता है जब हम लोग CV देखते हैं, ये सब चीजें starting में लिखी होती है. Is it fine? Is my point clear, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so this is, so whatever, I mean, you are some council member, you are some you have some gold medal, you have distinction, so all those things should be clearly mentioned. Your education, your your skills, abhi aapki skills are important. Then after that you should have your awards and honors, then you should have your position held, and then you can have your personal details. So this is how should your CV should move. Is it fine, bache?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so this is what I wanted to discuss. Otherwise, lot many information is available on net. I am there, you can anytime come to maths department, you can anytime discuss with me, right? I have worked in Tata Steel as manager IT after my graduation, only BSc. Then I did my I mean I came to teaching. So after BSc you can move in any direction, right? There are a lot many things. 40 minutes are not sufficient. We are meeting you people every fortnight. We'll keep on meeting, we'll keep on discussing more things. Apart from that, उसके बीच में आपको लगता है आपने मेरे से कुछ discuss करना है, you can come to me and meet me. Is it fine, बच्चे?
Okay, ma'am.
Right, so any other doubt, anybody? I'll share this PPT in the group also, and I